Office 2010, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, all introduced the Backstage view. Let's have a look at it. You can see I've got a File tab here, and when I click on it, the Office Backstage view is where you manage your files and the data about them. So it's where you create, save, and inspect hidden or personal information and set the options. In short, it's basically everything you would do to a file that you don't do in the file. So let's have a look at this. So for example, I have a Word document open and you can see it's giving me information about it. Now straight away it's said I'm in compatibility mode. This actual document was created in Office 2003. What that means is it doesn't have all the functions perhaps that are in Office 2010. There are a few more features that are available. So if I want to convert it, I can just press on this button and it will convert it to Office 2010. I can protect the document. I can put it as encryption. I can make it as read-only. I can restrict the editing. I can add a digital signature. I can affect the permissions so that not everyone can open and copy and change parts of a document. I can check for issues. Perhaps before I share this file, I want to check that the content is all good. And also perhaps I could manage versions. So if perhaps there were different versions of this document, I could recover previous unsaved documents. Then finally, to the right-hand side, I've got information about this particular document. I can see its size and how many pages there are, the words there, how long it is taken to edit. I can also see when it was last modified, who the author was. So very, very useful to tell me information about the document that I've just opened. Let's have a look at what else we can do Backstage. So first of all, it's where I can save. Now if I'm in the document, I can just press the Save button in the top left, or I can use the shortcut Ctrl and S. But I can always come Backstage and click Save. I can click on the Save As option, and a pop-up will appear giving me the ability to save it with a different format. So for example, if I click on this drop down here, I can see the different formats that are available to me. Perhaps I want to make it a 2010 version, a macro-enabled document that we'll talk about towards the end of this training. A 2003 version if perhaps someone is using an older version of Word. If I want to make it a template, which is another class that we have. Perhaps as a PDF so that people can print it and not change it. And those are the most common that you'd perhaps want to save it. Let's go Backstage again. I could perhaps open a document. And again, I have a similar pop-up which allows me to navigate to a particular document, click on it, and then open it. Just going to cancel that. Let's go Backstage again. So those are the normal file, open, and we even have close that perhaps you're used to in other applications. One of the great things in Backstage is the recent. Now I work on lots of documents, therefore I have a whole host of different documents that I've recently worked on, and this allows me to access them quickly. And I can visit any of them just by clicking on it, and then that document will then load. If there is a document that I regularly work on, you might remember from the Windows 7 class that we have these pins, and I can just click on the pin, and then what happens is it's come to the top and it's always going to be available. I'm just going to unpin it now from the list, so I only have one document pinned, and that's the one we're going to be working on during this training. I might want to open a new document. The available templates within Word 2010 are fantastic, and we're going to spend a few minutes just looking at these. First of all, I might just have a blank document. But what I might want to do is use one of the templates that already exists. Now, there are blog posts, recent templates, sample templates, my templates, create a new template from an existing document. But where I'd like to visit is actually down here. These are all the templates that are provided by Office. Let's say perhaps that you need to create a calendar. You can see I've got a number of calendars, and if I click on that, I can now see that I have 2012, 2011, 2010, multiple year calendars and other calendars. Let's go and visit the multiple year calendars. And you can see a preview on the right hand side, and you can see that people have also voted against that calendar. So we've got 53 votes, it's 3.5 stars, whereas this one has only got 2.5 stars and only got 30 votes. Let's see what other calendars are available. I'm going to click on the other calendars. And you can see that I've got specific month calendars. And look, this has got 12 votes, 4.5 stars. And it's for the month of June. Well, I'm going to look at perhaps a birthday and anniversary calendar. That could be useful. or a 7-day calendar. I'm going to open up that. If I want to open it, it's very easy. All I need to do is double click on it or click the download button. Word is now accessing that file from the internet, downloading it, and there you can see I have a document created by a template. And it can be a real time saver using some of these existing templates. Let's say, for example, you're asked to take meeting minutes from a meeting and you're there thinking, I don't know what format this should be. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's go File, New, and let's see if there are any templates. Well, here we go. We've got minutes. Click on that. And then I have a meeting minutes folder. And you can see to the very right a preview of it. And it's a very polished minute template. Or I've got a more simple version to the right-hand side. Perhaps if prior to the meeting I must create an agenda. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to go back to the templates. You can actually see this is breadcrumbs. This is very common now in most applications, and it just means that I can navigate back to the home, then I can choose another option. So perhaps click on agendas, and there's again a host of different agendas that I could use to prepare an agenda. Now, we're not going to spend all our time highlighting each of these, but do look and explore them. It's very, very useful. And why reinvent the wheel when there's been a lot of time taken to create these templates and to share them with the community? And it's a really nice touch that people have been able to vote on them so you can actually get an appreciation of what people think about them. Let's see what else we've got Backstage. Let's come to the print. Now, of course, when you're printing a document, you can see at the moment, here's a preview, and I can straight away see that I'm in actually that calendar. And I wanted to use the document that we were dealing with before. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and I'm going to close this particular document. I don't want to save it. And you can now see we're back to our draft document that we'll be working on in this course. I'm now going to go Backstage and go back to the print. And you can now see a far better preview of what currently will be printed. In the settings for the printing, I could perhaps print just the current page. I could perhaps print some custom range, perhaps pages 1 to 3. There we go. I might perhaps want to collate the pages or have them uncollated. I might want to change it to a landscape versus a portrait. I might want to have multiple pages per sheet, perhaps 2 pages per sheet. So Backstage allows you to see information about your document, allows you to see all the recent documents you created, create documents from templates. This is a wealth of opportunity. Have a great print preview. You can also save and send. I could perhaps send it using an email, and it will automatically load up my email client and attach it. I could send it as a PDF, which is a read-only file. I can save it to the web. And this is depending on how your computer's networked and what it belongs to. But you could also save to SharePoint if you're using SharePoint in your organization. Or you can also publish as a blog post if you're a blogger. And we've got more training courses coming on about blogs later on. The help gives you information about the specific version you're on, but also allows you to search any online help. And then right at the very bottom, we've got quite a hidden area called Options. And if I click on Options, a pop-up occurs that allows me to change certain settings. For example, when we customize the ribbon and do the quick access toolbar in the next couple of exercises, you'll be seeing this here. I might want to perhaps change the general settings. I might want to change how the document is displayed. Do I want to have white spaces? Do I want to show highlighter markers? Show tooltips on hover? Use certain symbols? When we come on to proofing and we're discussing that, this is where you would change those settings. When you come to save, what is the default settings you want to save the files? And also notice that we've got an auto recover. Older versions of Word, you may have been used to the mentality of you must regularly save your document. In Word 2010, you don't really have to do this as often. Good practice, but Word will actually save a document every 10 minutes. So if the worst thing was to happen and your computer was to crash, or Word was to crash, the next time you loaded up Word, it would detect that a recent document had been saved and it would say, do you want to visit that? And this is very useful. I wouldn't recommend changing this because every 10 minutes is about right. Let's just cancel that. So Backstage, remember, this is where you manage your file, where you create, save and print out, and there's a wealth of templates here and also where you change some of your options, and we'll be coming Backstage throughout the training course.